Well, we're going to talk Buzz Sawyer. Buzz Sawyer started his career in 1977. And we talked about this that we're not for sure how Buzz Sawyer got trained to be a professional wrestler. We know he was an accomplished amateur wrestler in high school. He came right out of high school at age 17 and became a professional wrestler.
Let's see. Earlier, let's see. A gentleman it said that I guess Eddie Graham. He thinks that Eddie Graham actually trained Buzz Sawyer. However, we cannot verify that. We cannot verify exactly who trained the Buzz Sawyer. I did see an interview with him earlier today from Portland, and he talked about his amateur career. And he made a challenge to anybody. It didn't matter if he was a wrestler, if you were sitting on the front row, if you thought you were sitting at home wanting to become a wrestler. He would challenge anybody to amateur match. And I thought that would be pretty awesome. I don't know how that worked out. I just got through watching that earlier today. But yeah, Buzz Sawyer, accomplished amateur wrestler. And you could tell it. You could tell it. The best I've ever seen was Buzz when he'd like to do the go behind and rub the guy's face in the mat. That was one of my favorite moves of his.
But somehow Buzz Sawyer gets from Florida to Canada. And now we don't know how he got there. We do not. That is a little bit. But his first advertised match, and Jack will pick it up. His first advertised match.
Okay, Buzz Sawyer started wrestling in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, in April of 1977. August the 20th of 77, at the stadium at New Glasgow, Buzz Sawyer versus David Schultz for the Canadian heavyweight title, the Maritimes version. From there, we move a couple of years up to CWA in Memphis, February 12th, 79, Mid-South Coliseum. Buzz Sawyer defeated Roger Howell.
We believe, now we're not for certain, but we believe that Buzz Sawyer trained to be an Olympic wrestler between 1977 and the time he gets to Memphis. We believe that is true. Now, if somebody knows any different than us, but he does disappear for 1 year. So we don't know where he goes. And I think I remember Gordon Soley telling that story. All right, go ahead, Jack.
Let's see, February 13th, 79, Louisville Gardens. In Louisville, Kentucky, Dennis Condrey defeated Buzz Sawyer. February 16th, Sports Arena in Tupelo, Mississippi. Assassin number 1, who was Randy Colley, and Assassin number 2, Roger Howell, versus Jimmy Golden and Buzz Sawyer. No results on that match. February 18th, 79, Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. Buzz Sawyer versus Robert Gibson ended without a winner as a time limit draw. February 21st, 79, Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Coliseum in Evansville, Indiana. Tommy Gilbert and Buzz Sawyer versus Chris Colt and Don Fargo.
I bet that was interesting.
Now that was some old school guys right there.
Now, I did see some footage from his time on YouTube. I saw him in a match with Don Carson. Don Carson, Dennis Condrey, the Southern Tag Team Champions at that time.
Okay, March 2nd, 79, Sports Arena in Tupelo. Buzz Sawyer versus the Stomper, winner unknown. March 4th, Mid-South Coliseum, Buzz Sawyer versus Danny Davis. March 7th, back in Evansville, Indiana, Buzz Sawyer versus Mike Stallings. March 12th, my birthday, by the way, 1979, Mid-South Coliseum, Hans Schroeder defeated Buzz Sawyer. March 16th, 79, Tupelo, Buzz Sawyer versus Gorgeous George Jr. We have no winner for that. March 19th, back in Memphis, Buzz Sawyer defeated Danny Davis. March 26th, 79, Mid-South Coliseum, Buzz Sawyer defeated Coco Ware. That was before the B.
Yeah, there he is, right there. Coco Ware, 1979.
April 2nd, 79, Memphis, Buzz Sawyer and the Stomper ended without a winner as a no contest. And April the 5th, 79, at the Rump Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, Jimmy Golden defeated Buzz Sawyer in 9 minutes and 12 seconds.
All right, then we head to, we're in April now, April the 9th of 1979, the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis. It's Jimmy Golden and Ron Slinker against Tommy Gilbert and Buzz Sawyer. And then Buzz makes his way to Championship Wrestling from Florida.
And before we go on, here is a card from April 24th, 1979, Rodney.
All right, so we at the Louisville Gardens. It's on April the 24th. The main event for the Southern Tag Team title versus the Mask is Robert Fuller and Bill Dundee against the Assassins, presented by Gorgeous George Jr. In a returned Southern Heavyweight Championship match, Professor Tanaka against the Stomper, managed by Gorgeous George. In a loser leave towel match, Jimmy Golden against Ron Slinker, Tommy Gilbert against Hans Schroeder, Tony Charles against Bruce Stanton, and in the opening match, Buzz Sawyer against Mike York. Tremendous card, Louisville Gardens. Tremendous. Okay, like I said, he's on his way to Florida. He's Championship Wrestling for Florida. He ends up there May the 9th, 1979. It's the Sportatorium in Tampa. It's Killer Khan and Paxson defeating Buzz Sawyer and Bubba Douglas. And then on May the 14th, 1979, is West Palm Beach at the Auditorium. As Buzz Sawyer and Bubba Douglas defeating Wayne Ferris and Larry Latham. I wonder if they were the Blonde Bombers at that time.
Yes, they were the Blonde Bombers.
All right,
No, maybe they did not become the Blonde Bombers till they got to Memphis. Does anyone know? If anybody knows out there, let us know. Were they the Blonde Bombers in Florida, or did they just get that name when they get to Memphis?
All right, then we're back there May the 16th, 1979. Don Morocco and Sonny King defeats Bubba Douglas and Buzz Sawyer. Then they're at the Melbourne Auditorium, Melbourne, Florida, on May the 18th of 1979. It's Buzz Sawyer versus King Curtis, and the winner is unknown. Then on May 20th, 1979, at the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium in Orlando, Buzz Sawyer defeated Rick Oliver, and he will wrestle Rick Oliver many times in his career, especially when he gets to the Portland part. Okay, then we got May the 27th, 1979, back at the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium. It's Buzz Sawyer defeating Bugsy McGraw. Then in June the 9th, 1979, he's in Jacksonville at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Jacksonville, Florida. Buzz Sawyer defeats Charlie Fulton.
Charlie Fulton, spectacular wrestler, by the way.
Great.
Awesome. Somebody that never got the credit he deserved as being one of the greats. So he could really probably go down in a top 100 list because he knew what he was doing. He knew how to get people over. Charlie Fulton, great wrestler.
And actually, my great uncle's one of his favorite wrestlers. Actually, Charlie Fulton. All right, and then we go to June the 11th, 1979, back at West Palm Beach Auditorium, West Palm Beach, Florida. It's Joe LeDuc and Don Morocco defeating Steve Kern and Buzz Sawyer. Then we come to Lakeland Civic Center, Lakeland, Florida, on June the 16th. It's Bugsy McGraw and Thor the Viking versus Buzz Sawyer and Jerry Briscoe, and that ended without a winner as a time limit draw.
I wonder who Thor the Viking was.
Thor the Viking. Not sure. All right, then we come up to June the 28th of 1979, Lee County Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. Steve Kern and Buzz Sawyer versus Don Morocco and Joe LeDuc. The winner, of course, is unknown. And then we come up on back to Tampa at the Sportatorium on July the 3rd, 1979. It's Jim Garvin and Buzz Sawyer defeating King Curtis and Killer Khan by disqualification, and that match is on YouTube. I watched it this afternoon. It was a knockdown, drag out. Sonny King gets involved. I mean, it was awesome, and I saw that one this afternoon. All right, so there we go. Move to July the 1st, 1979, Jacksonville's Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Jacksonville, Florida. Bugsy McGraw defeats Buzz Sawyer.
July 31st, 1979, at the Homer Hesterly Armory in Tampa, Buzz Sawyer defeated Brian St. John.
By the way, Brian St. John, one of the worst matches I ever watched in my life. Well, okay, I've seen worse matches, but it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at the Memorial Auditorium. I'm telling you what, he put the whole crowd to sleep. They were all. We had to wake them up before we had to ring the bell over and over again.
First time the whole crowd had been put in a sleeper.
August 8th, 79, Convention Center in Miami Beach, Florida. Buzz Sawyer defeated the Grappler.
Now, do we know who the grappler was in that particular?
I'm not. Lynn Denton, I believe.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I know Lynn did some time around that time down there. I forgot where it was. July 8th. I'm sorry, July 26, 79. Jacksonville Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Jacksonville, Florida. Buzz Sawyer defeated Reggie Parks.
He probably made some belts and brought it down to him.
Probably. Awesome. August 28th, back at the Armory in Tampa, Joe LeDuc defeated Buzz Sawyer. September 7th at the Sports Stadium in Tallahassee, Bugsy McGraw and Killer Khan versus Steve Travis and Buzz Sawyer, winner unknown for that match. And then on the 11th, back in Tampa, Bugsy McGraw defeated Buzz Sawyer, who was the champion. I'm trying to see. That was the NWA Florida television title that he held. Bugsy McGraw defeated Buzz Sawyer in 13 minutes to take the championship. And then he makes his way to Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Before we go to Georgia Championship Wrestling, here is a newspaper ad for West Palm Beach. You'll see the lights out match, Joe LeDuc against Steve Kern, Dusty Rhodes and Jim Garvin against King Curtis and Magnificent Morocco. They spelt Morocco differently, I see. Special challenge match, Sweet Brown Sugar against Killer Khan. There it is, the Florida Tag Team Championship. Mike Graham and Buzz Sawyer against Thor the Viking and Bugsy McGraw, plus two other matches, and that's in West Palm Beach. Here is another one from that time, the Florida Title Tournament. You'll see kids from Orlando Sports Stadium, King Curtis, Steve Kern, Jack Briscoe, Jim Garvin, Don Morocco, Killer Khan, Terry Funk, and Buzz Sawyer is in this tournament for the title. Mass versus $3,000. Sweet Brown Sugar against Joe LeDuc. Manuel Fernandez. I'm thinking that's Manny Fernandez. And Jerry Briscoe against Mr. Hito and Mr. Waka Raka. Whatever that. How do you say that name? All right. Well,
that's mine. We don't have problems with foreign names up here.
Foreign names, any kind of foreign names, especially the French names.
French, we butchered them good last week.
Lakeland Civic Center, six-man tag match, Magnificent Morocco, Joe LeDuc, and Killer Carl Cox against Dusty Rhodes, Jim Garvin, Steve Kern. That would have been a great match to see. Special challenge match, Jack Briscoe against Killer Khan. Florida title match, King Curtis against Paul Orndorff. Tag team match, Buzz Sawyer and Jerry Briscoe against Bugsy McGraw and Thor the Viking, Sweet Brown Sugar against Frank Monty, and a tag team match, Reggie Parks. So again, probably taking some belts to him. And Cyclone Negro against Frank Dusek and Charlie Fulton. Frank Dusek, another great professional wrestler, by the way, one of the best. All right, Rodney, Georgia Championship Wrestling.
All right, Buzz Sawyer arrives in Georgia. And the first looks like one of the first matches he's at, the Omni in Atlanta on September the 21st, 1979. Buzz Sawyer defeated Carl Fergie. Then he makes his way to the Cobb County Civic Center, Marietta, Georgia. On September the 23rd, it's Buzz Sawyer versus Jonathan Boyd, ended without a winner as a time limit draw. Then he's at the Memorial Gym in Rome, Georgia. On September the 27th, it's Buzz Sawyer versus Rocket Monroe, winner unknown there.
I bet he learned some stuff from Rocket Monroe.
No doubt.
That is one of the smartest people I've ever talked to in professional wrestling. I'm going to tell you, he taught me a lot all in one day in Riverdale, Georgia. He taught me so much in that one day. I sat with him for about 2 hours.
All right, then we come up on October 5th, 1979. He's at the Atlanta City Auditorium. It's Chris Markoff, and he defeats Buzz Sawyer there. Then he's at the TV studios at WTBS on October the 13th. It's Bob Armstrong and Buzz Sawyer defeating Ernie Ladd and the Masked Superstar by disqualification. Oh, that was a good one. I'm going to tell you what happened there because I saw it just this afternoon. Bobby Heenan slips a foreign object to Ernie Ladd while Bob Armstrong was in the ring. Bob comes back on him, knocks it out of his hand. Referee catches it. Referee is Ron West, by the way. Calls for the disqualification. Then it's Ernie Ladd and the Superstar and Bobby Heenan kicking the crap out of Bob Armstrong. And then here comes Ole Anderson, cleans house. It was awesome. And that's on YouTube. I got to see that this afternoon. That was awesome. Okay, then we come up to Macon Coliseum on October 14th, Macon, Georgia. Chris Markoff and Jacques Goulet defeats Stan Hansen and Buzz Sawyer. And then we go to the Omni in Atlanta. That will be on October the 13th. It's Buzz Sawyer and Ricky Fields versus Chris Markoff and Jacques Goulet. And it ended without a winner because of a time limit draw. And then last but not least, we're at the Atlanta City Auditorium, October the 26th. Austin Idol defeats Buzz Sawyer.
And here is the complete card for the Atlanta City Auditorium, Friday, October 26th. The main event, 6-man tag team event, Ernie Ladd and the Superstar Bobby Heenan against Ole Anderson, Tony Atlas, and Chief Wad McDaniel. Georgia Heavyweight Championship, Killer Carl Cox, the champion, against Tommy Rich. Special attraction match, Sterling Golden, which would later become Hulk Hogan against Stan Hansen. Austin Idol against Buzz Sawyer. Dynamite Bobby Jaggers against Chick Donovan, Jacques Goulet, and Ricky Fields.
And here is my tribute to the Atlanta City Auditorium.
Yeah.
That was one smoky place. I want to.
It was awesome.
It was.